But he does have some supporters, and some supporters that, I mean, you would expect to have, but you wouldn't expect them to be the first ones in line. Bernie Sanders and AOC are two supporters that are out there really talking up Joe Biden and being the nominee. Let's play Bernie Sanders, who had a really good thing to say with Kate and Collins on CNN.
A living wage.
They
now,
trust
what
Trump
media
on the
does,
economy
now
more
let me
in
just
the
say
polls.
this. What media does, to a large degree, is make politics into a beauty contest, into a Grammy award-winning contest. You are voting for somebody on policy. Who is going to improve your life? Do you want somebody who thinks that climate change is a hoax, who takes away women's right to control their own bodies, who has appointed extremely anti-union leaders to his administration, which is...
So this is really the play, no matter who the nominee is for the Democratic Party. Now, I am going to go on record. I personally am okay with anybody showing concern about Joe Biden and his age. I mean, I get it, because this is scary, scary stuff. This is like, we absolutely 100% cannot lose this election. Can't happen. So if anybody has any worry, I get it. You know, I get it. But I think some people, personally, I think the way they're approaching it is detrimental to, if Joe Biden continues to be the nominee. I'm okay with you coming out and saying, I love Joe Biden. And and a lot of people have said this, I love him. And if he is the nominee, I am going to go to battle for him 100%. Right. But there's too much snarkiness. There's too much dismissiveness about Joe Biden that is really irritating, and I do not like.
Right. I absolutely agree. It's like one, if you have concerns, again, we do it in the background. We don't grab the media to do our rounds like, oh, me too, I have something to say. And then they always start with that, disclaimer, don't get me wrong, I love Joe Biden, but is he mentally up to it? And I still don't understand what that means, because if you just keep saying things like that and you're not offering, not one person that has been against him has come out to say this is what should happen. He should step down, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens, right? Because they know deep down in their heart there's nothing after him stepping down that could secure an election. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, Biden is our best chance. Why? Because we know that he beat him before. Mm-hmm. Biden is a household name. He's tested, right? We know that. There's no one else that is tested. The only other person that comes close is Kamala, and she will have problems against Donald Trump. Like, she just will. And people assume, I'm sorry, that because Kamala is a Black woman, that they're going to have the Black vote. That's not how it works. It's not going to work like that.
Right. I definitely agree with you. And one thing that I think you left off the list when it comes to Joe Biden is he's got a list of accomplishments that he can run on. So, I mean, that should be in a perfect, not even in a perfect world, in a half intelligent world, that should be exactly what everybody should be focusing on, is what does the president do? Again, we're turning now the presidency into a popularity contest instead of, what is the vision of this person? Now, for the most part, in 3 years and 9 months, most people look at it as a popularity contest. In the last 2 months, they start to get a little bit more engaged. So I think as we start to get closer to the election, and whoever the nominee is, and I do believe it's still going to be Joe Biden, although I also believe there is a possibility it won't. And not because Joe Biden's not good enough to win. I think there might be a point that if Joe Biden feels like he can't win, there is a possibility, because of all people, I think that, because you have to have a massive ego to be president, but I think of all people who might take a step back and say, look, it's looking bad, like really bad. On my internal polling looks bad. I might have to back out. I think that that's possible. I don't think, in every interview you're going to hear him talk, and he's going to talk with the utmost confidence, which you have to, because you can't really give anybody any sense that he's going to pull out, or else then it's another fucking 72 hours plus of news. So I think it's somewhat possible, but I think on a scale of let's say it's a 75-25 that it could happen. What do you think?
I don't see it happening at all. Like,
are you 100%?
Yeah, the only thing that if he has some type of health crisis is when that will happen. Like if he has some Mitch McConnell staring off into space for 2 minutes or something like that.
Well, we lost Lana, and I'm sure she will be back, but she's right. I mean, the Mitch McConnell thing, which again, it's one of those weird things. We saw what happened with Mitch McConnell. He literally not once, but twice just froze. He just froze. And
I got kicked out.
Yes, you did. Somebody's kicked. It's that damn government.
I know. Yeah, right. That's the only thing, because to be honest with you, I don't think Kamala wants it. It would ruin her career. If they push Kamala to do this before Kamala is ready and Kamala loses, Kamala's career is, what does she do after that?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, after 4 years that she tried to come back, like, what does she do after that? So she's not ready. Like, if I were her, I know she doesn't want it. I wouldn't want it, because now you're pushing me with 4 months left and I don't even have a ground game to get myself in order, because maybe she would do things a little differently running for president. You know what I mean? Maybe she would do her outreach a little differently. Like, she wouldn't have enough time to do it. So she's not even giving her best effort. And then she goes up there and she loses. What does she do for the next 4 years? She's
loses
done.
to literally the worst candidate in the history of this country. So,
right, she's done.
It's just, and again, and obviously, if Trump does win, there's a good possibility. I mean, that the way they're going to set the laws, the way they're going to do everything, especially if they win the House and Senate, then everybody might as well. I mean, people joke around and say, if that happens, I'm moving to Canada or I'm moving to another country. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of people make that reality.
It's gonna be bad. They're gonna be so giddy with power that they're gonna do things out in the open that you're just gonna be like, what the hell?
Lana, you talk about stacking the court.
Yeah.
They will add 4 more justices to the Supreme Court, make them all crazy, whacked out, MAGA justices. Yeah. And then we're done. We're done forever. I mean, we're done even if Trump wins and they don't add,
and that's why it's like people. And again, I really think it's already set in stone, and I really don't think the polls are getting it right. Like, I think the only thing that that's like the missing in between are the people that you just want to get out to vote. Like, because I really think at this point, independents kind of know. I like, you can't. They're so polar opposite that you can't be in the middle with this. Like, I don't see how anyone is like, it's polar opposites. It's a rapist, racist, felon, criminal, grifter. And then you have someone who's just old and flubs his words, but no one has said that he lied on that debate stage. No one has said that he told.
Some people did, but they said that.
Who, Republicans?
Yeah, no, but you know what? I will say, every single debate, somebody's going to say something that's not necessarily true. Like when he said, I mean, I know they ripped into when he said, no soldiers died on my watch. Well, I mean, obviously that's not true.
Right, but it's not.
It's not malicious.
Right. It's not. It's one of those things where you misspoke, which is different because everyone misspeaks, right? Trump wasn't misspeaking. He was just saying stuff that he was pulling out of the sky. That's not what Biden was doing, because we've heard him get that right before. Like, so it's just, he didn't get that right. It's just, people are just stupid. And I just think that people know by now who they're voting for. We just really got to get the people who self-suppress and don't get out to vote out to vote. And we got to get the young people to wrap their heads around, out of Gaza, back here, and look at that guy. Because if you think Gaza is bad, Trump may not be killing Americans, but it's going to be pretty awful. School is going to be unaffordable. Like, come on, college kids, like, wake up.
I mean, jobs. Again, listen, when you have, we talked about this before, when you have Pulitzer Prize winning economists say Biden's economy good, Trump's economy bad.
Right.
Like, why would you not even consider listening to that? You know, but you're going to listen to a lifelong con man to tell you exactly what he's going to do for this country. First of all, Donald Trump has zero plan for this country, none. He's got a bunch of people around him who have tons of plans for this country, tons. And they will implement them, and they are going to make Donald Trump feel like he's the guy that implemented them, while he just goes out and plays golf every day and ignores the country. He will have nothing to do with running this. Literally,
no, he's older. If we thought he played a lot of golf before and had executive time, or whatever he called that, whatever it's called when you have like off the clock time. Man,
it was all executive time.
Yeah.
Lana, do you remember when he was first running? I can't remember who he called. It might have been Chris Christie or somebody like that. It was somebody that was kind of popular. So he called him. I know it was John Kasich. And he called him and said, hey, I'll make you vice president. You can run the country, and I'll just kind of do my thing. It was basically him saying, I don't want to do this. You run it.
He don't want to do that. That's literally that's probably why he doesn't want to, like, G7 and all those meetings. He doesn't want to go schmooze with these people. He doesn't care about these people. He can't. That's why he don't want to be in it. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to participate. He doesn't have time for that.
Yeah, like the G7, all that stuff. He only wants to surround himself with people that are in love with him, that will bow down to him. But if they're not bowing down to him, he wants nothing to do with them.